My name is Amelia, and this is the story of my life.
A young woman named Amelia Brooks carried hope like a candle in a storm. She was in her second year at Riverside University, juggling her studies with a part-time job at a small restaurant downtown. Her mother sold food in front of their old apartment, and every coin Amelia earned went into keeping that flame of survival burning. One rainy evening, while rushing to catch the last bus, she collided with a stranger, tall, calm, and refined. His name was Ethan Cole. He apologized softly, helped her gather her scattered papers, and smiled in a way that left her heart confused for the first time in a long time. From that day, Ethan became her heartbeat. They sat together in class, studied late into the night, and shared secrets over cups of instant coffee. He wasn't from a rich home, his father was gone, and his mother struggled to keep food on the table. But he had dreams. Big ones. Amelia admired that. She saw in him what she wished someone would see in her, potential. And when he spoke about his future, she saw herself in it. She didn't know that love, sometimes, is not a promise, it's a test. Ethan's tuition balance came due that semester. He had no one to turn to. Amelia, if I drop out now, I'll lose everything I've worked for, he said one evening, his voice trembling. She looked at him, tears in her eyes. How much do you need? He told her. The exact amount she'd been saving to move her mother out of their leaking apartment. That night, she sat awake, her heart heavy. Then she smiled weakly. He's worth it, she whispered to herself. By morning, she paid the fees. Her mother noticed the sadness in her eyes. Amelia, what happened to the rent money? Mama, don't worry. I'll fix it, she said. And she did, by working longer hours, skipping meals, and studying through exhaustion. She gave him everything, her strength, her time, her youth, her dreams, believing love would pay her back someday. But love doesn't always return the same way it's given. Graduation day. The day Amelia had waited for. Their victory day. The sun was high above the city, pouring light over the university lawns where laughter filled the air. Students in gowns and caps hugged, families cheered, cameras flashed, and music played from every corner. Amelia stood at the edge of the crowd, holding a small bouquet of flowers. She had spent the last of her savings to buy them for Ethan. Her gown wasn't new, and her shoes pinched her toes, but she didn't care. This was his day. When Ethan walked across the stage to receive his degree, she clapped so hard that her palms stung. Tears filled her eyes. She wasn't crying because she was sad. She was proud. Proud that he made it. Proud that her sacrifices had meant something. After the ceremony, she ran toward him, her face glowing. Ethan, you did it. He turned, smiled faintly, and said, yeah, finally. She reached out and straightened his graduation cap like she always did before exams. I'm so proud of you, she whispered. But before he could answer, a group of his coursemates surrounded him, laughing, hugging, taking pictures. Someone shouted, Ethan, over here, bro. He turned away from her, laughing loudly, posing for selfies. Amelia stood there, the bouquet still in her hands. She smiled weakly and waited, thinking he'd come back to her once the crowd cleared. But when one of his female coursemates asked, who's she? Ethan chuckled and said, oh, that's Amelia. She's, a coursemate. A coursemate. The word hit her like a slap. She felt something sink deep inside her chest. A coursemate? After everything? She forced a smile, pretending she didn't hear it. She stood quietly, clutching the flowers until the petals started to crumble in her fingers. When the photos were over, he turned to her. Hey, sorry about that. You know how it is. Too many people around. It's okay, she said softly. But her voice cracked. He didn't notice. Or maybe he chose not to. They walked toward the gate together, but even their silence felt different. He walked faster, his phone buzzing nonstop. When she spoke, he only nodded. At one point, she reached for his hand, but he pulled it away quickly when someone from his department waved. That was the moment her heart started breaking. Not loudly, not suddenly, but quietly, like a soft thread snapping inside her. Still, when they reached the roadside, she smiled through the pain and handed him the bouquet. "These are for you," she said. He looked at them briefly. "Thanks," he murmured, distracted, already scrolling through his phone. And that was all. No hug. No kiss. No gratitude. That night, Amelia sat by her window in the hostel, watching the fireworks from the graduation party she wasn't invited to. She could see Ethan's updates on social media, dancing, laughing, surrounded by people. Her phone remained silent. She whispered to herself, maybe he's just excited. Maybe tomorrow will be better. But deep down, something told her, tomorrow might never come the same way again. Silence. That was all Amelia got from Ethan after graduation. No calls. No messages. Not even a thank you. At first, she told herself he was busy settling into his new life. Then weeks passed. Her heart grew heavier with each unanswered text. She couldn't sleep. She couldn't eat. Every night, she stared at her phone, praying it would light up with his name. It never did. Then one afternoon, her coursemate sent her a picture. Ethan smiling beside a woman in front of a luxury car. The caption read, "My everything." The phone slipped from her hand. Her chest tightened. The room spun. She sat on the edge of her bed, whispering, "He wouldn't do this to me, he can't." But he did. And still, her heart refused to believe it. She needed to see him, to hear him say it himself. It took her 2 weeks to gather enough money for the trip to Abuja. She carried her small travel bag, clutching the brown envelope that held the wristwatch she'd bought for his graduation. A gift she never got to give. When the taxi stopped in front of his apartment, her hands trembled. It was a fine neighborhood. Clean, quiet, too polished for the boy she once helped pay rent. She stood there for a moment, breathing in courage, then knocked. The door opened. A tall, beautiful woman stood there, wearing one of Ethan's old t-shirts. Her hair was perfectly styled, her nails freshly done. "Yes? Can I help you?" she asked, her tone sharp but polite. Amelia's voice shook. "I'm looking for Ethan. Ethan Cole." The woman smiled faintly. "Oh, you mean my fiancé?" The word fiancé echoed in Amelia's head like thunder. Before she could respond, Ethan appeared behind the woman, adjusting his wristwatch. The moment his eyes met Amelia's, his smile disappeared. "Ethan," she whispered, taking a step forward. "So, it's true." He glanced at the woman, then back at Amelia. "What are you doing here?" Her lips trembled. "I came to see you. You changed your number. You didn't reply to any of my messages." He sighed, glancing away. "Amelia, you shouldn't have come. Things are different now." "Different?" she repeated. Her voice cracked. "Ethan, I sold my peace for you. I gave you everything, my savings, my dreams, my time. I paid your school fees. I fed you when you had nothing. How can you say things are different?" The other woman frowned. "Babe, who is this?" Ethan hesitated for a second, then said coldly, "No one. Just someone I used to know." Amelia froze. Her breath caught in her chest. "No one." Her eyes filled with tears. "Ethan, how can you say that?" He took a step forward. "Please don't make a scene here. My life has moved on. I'm engaged now. You need to respect that." Amelia's knees weakened. She clutched the small gift bag tightly, her hands trembling. "I believed in you when you had nothing," she said softly. "I fought for you when the world turned its back. And now, you call me nobody." The woman beside him rolled her eyes. "I think you should leave." Amelia looked at Ethan one last time. Really looked. The man standing before her wasn't the boy she loved. His eyes had changed. His heart had hardened. She slowly placed the gift bag at the door. Inside it was the wristwatch she'd worked nights to buy. "This was meant to be your graduation gift," she said quietly. "I guess you no longer need it." Then, with a weak smile and tears streaming down her face, she turned away. Her heels clicked softly against the tiled floor as she walked down the stairs. Behind her, The door shut. That sound, the click of that closing door, broke something deep inside her. Outside, she stood still for a moment, watching the city lights blur through her tears. And for the first time, Amelia realized, love can make you blind, but betrayal makes you see.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment to support African Folktale by Muna. I love you all.